Hey guys, my name is Matimio, and today I got some Recon gameplay, but not your normal Recon everyday gameplay commentary that you might see on every single other channel out there. I decided to turn off my UI. I've been kind of doing this off and on. You guys have probably seen a couple of my no UI videos where I just completely turn it off and I run around to see how I perform and how well I can do. And a lot of you wanted to see if I could do this for the bolt-action rifles and the Recon class, and I at first was a little hesitant to take up this challenge since the Recon is a very difficult class to use in general, and not having any of my my indicators or being able to see spotted targets or anything like that with my UI off seemed like a very difficult thing to try to accomplish. And so I tried it out. It was definitely very hard, and I'm going to kind of go into more detail as to why, but in general it was a fun experience. So first off, the main thing I really had to get used to was not being able to rely on spotting. When you play as a Recon, and more specifically when you use the bolt-action rifles, and here I'm using the 12x scope, you really do rely on the spotting tool. I mean, when I'm running around from objective to objective, or I'm just kind of surveying the area, I'm hitting the spot button every once in a while just to kind of see if anyone's out there. And because it's kind of hard to see targets that are at a further distance, especially if they are standing still, and not having the spot tool at your disposal was a huge disadvantage and something that I really had to get around. So what I really was trying to do more often than not was hit my spot button, listen to hear if my soldier said anything, because you do get a audio cue when you do hit your spot button and someone is spotted. So that was nice, but it wouldn't really show me what direction was, where they were, because in front of you, if you're on top of, I'm playing on Caspian Border, so if I was top of Hilltop, there was a huge amount of scenery in front of me, and to try to pinpoint exactly where that audio cue was indicating towards, was a hard thing to do. So, that was probably the most challenging part about this video, or this type of playstyle, was just not being able to see spotted targets, because you really do rely on that. The second hardest thing that I really had to get used to was not being notified when I got a kill. I mean, when you play normally, you get a little message that pops up every time you take out a target that says, you killed someone. And that's especially very useful when you go for long-range targets, especially when visually it can be difficult to see if they actually dropped. So for normally, it's not a problem, and that's not a problem for the Recon class. But when you don't have your UI on, it can be kind of challenging just to see if you actually got the kill. And so what I found myself doing is that I had to change my playstyle and the way I approach different situations, because really the only way I could make this video fun, and so you guys could actually see if I killed anyone, was to stay zoomed in after every shot, or pretty much after every shot, just to verify that the target went down. And what this happens is that because I have to play like this, I'm staying in one location more, and I'm leaving myself more vulnerable, because when I normally play, and I'm playing aggressively, I will take the shot and then I'll immediately zoom back out, because I want to, first of all, make sure no one's flanking me, but also kind of change up my position so I'm not just staying in one spot and leaving myself vulnerable to other snipers or someone that kind of knows my general direction. So that's kind of how I normally play. But because I had to stay zoomed in all the time just to make sure that the target went down, it kind of left me vulnerable, and you'll see in the video I kind of died to it every once in a while. So I think it made for a better video that I did it this way and I made sure that I zoomed in, but it also kind of was a little frustrating at times because I knew I was leaving myself vulnerable and it got me killed. So another challenging thing that I had to get over was that I couldn't use my MAV or my tugs, and if you know me, you'll know that I honestly think that those are one of the most useful gadgets in the game in general, and to not have that at my disposal was not only disappointing, but it also further made the Recon class even less effective, and especially since I think that the Recon is in general less effective and useful than the other classes. So not to have that at my disposal and just to have a weaker class in general was definitely something that I had to overcome. I would every once in a while jump into the MAV, kind of survey the area to see if there was an ally heading in my direction, but the MAV doesn't distinguish between ally and foe, so I would still spot, of course, and that would give me an audio cue so I could tell maybe a big clump of enemies were in that direction, but for the most part, I couldn't really use it as effectively as I would have liked, and it was just something that I had to really overcome. So overall, even though I had to overcome a lot of these obstacles and it was quite challenging, I felt like the gameplay was really rewarding. I felt like I was more playing like I would in a real life situation where I wasn't just running around all Rambo style. I mean, you guys will see in the video here, a lot of the action in a lot of the places that I was chilling around was the forest area, and that wasn't because I felt like that was where a lot of the action was going to congregate around. Well, that's true that it's a very hot spot location, but it was mainly because I didn't feel comfortable just running up to the hilltop or going to the gas station where I couldn't get the full benefit or take advantage of the bolt action rifles. I really tried, since I was at a huge disadvantage to everyone else, I wanted to get every advantage that I could, and I felt like the forest, since there's a lot of spots where I could just kind of blend into the scenery, I could duck for cover, and overall I just had a lot of line of sights on places. I thought that was where I was going to get the most bang for my buck with my weapon and have the most success, and overall that is exactly what happened. But yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's Recon gameplay. I had a lot of fun with it. I hope you guys did as well. If you would like me to make more sniper matches like this where I turn off my UI and make it more realistic, let me know in the comment section below. I know a lot of you guys like when I do turn off my UI, but if this is too slow paced, let me know and I will just stick with the assault rifles and stuff like that. If you guys enjoyed today's video, always appreciate it when you give my videos a rating, and if you haven't already, subscribed for more. But until next time, guys, have a good one and take it easy.